showing you this. Today, welcome to the introduction to students with disabilities. Today, I'm going to be teaching my student about the community and the different types of community. I'm going to be using the word student a lot, even though I don't have students in front of me, but I'm going to be using the word student a lot for the sake of this class. So I'm going to be teaching my students about the communities and the different types of communities. And also the goal of this lesson is for my student to be able to know what a community is, the different types of community, the advantages and disadvantages of a community, as well as be able to identify the characteristics of a community. I'm going to use video methodology to teach my students about a community because I believe that video methodology is a very effective strategy because most students learn best or effectively through the use of pictures, visuals, and images. The three videos that I'm going to be showing are a Caillou, a house in the sky, urban and suburban and rural communities, as well as the country mouse and the city mouse. Each video lasts for 10 minutes, but I'm only going to show the video for only 2 minutes because I have no student in front of me, and I'm also going to give a summary of each of the video.
That's urban, a house with a yard, yeah, that's suburban. In rural areas, it's country life, and you can see all the stars at night. Big city, bright lights, that's urban, a house with a yard, yeah, that's suburban. In rural areas, it's country life, and you can see all the stars at night. Right, what's near the city but has more space? A suburban community, yeah, that's the place. Lots of people who work in the city live in the suburbs. You can get there quickly. Homes in the suburbs are farther apart. So your dog Sparky has a backyard in the suburbs. Most people drive because from school to home can be.
Okay, so basically I'm going to give out a summary of this video. The video is talking about the different communities that we have, and also talk about the urban community as a place where there's a lot of people, and then you have a lot of transportation because you have a lot of cars and subways and buses. And you also have a lot of people with different cultures and people that speak different languages. In the suburban areas, you have a lot of houses that are apart from each other. You have big backyard in each houses, and you also sometimes it can be a necessity to have a car in the suburban communities because of the distance between the home and the school, or the home and the stores. And in the rural areas, we have a lot of forests and fields and farms. We also have a lot of farm animals, and people who want to have food in the rural areas usually go to the farm to get their food. But in the suburban areas and the urban areas, we usually go to the stores to buy our food. I'll show the next video.
Caillou wondered what it would be like to be really, really small, like an ant.
Yippee! Giddy up! Yee-haw!
I'll get it. Hello? Well, yes, it is. Who's this? Really? It's so nice to hear your voice again. Where have you been?
Can I take a look?
Sure. They are really small, so you'll have to use this. They tickle. Me too. Ooh.
That was Carol. Remember Carol from high school? Well, she's moved to the city and wants me to come over tomorrow. She has a little boy, Caillou. His name is Kevin, and he's 4.
I'm 4 too. Can I come with you, Mommy?
Of course you can, but it's a long car ride. You'll have to bring some books to look at.
Hi. So the summary of the Kalu, A House in the Sky, basically Kalu and his family lives in the rural areas. They have a big house in a rural area and community, and they also have a big backyard where Kalu usually play with his family every day. Kalu was in the backyard playing with ants in the backyard of his house, and his mother got a phone call from her friend to come pay them a visit in the urban area, in a community, and in the city. And Khalil was told about it, and Khalil wanted to come with his mother to the city. So Khalil went into the car with his mother, and it was a long drive to the city. Khalil was so exhausted and couldn't wait to get to the city because the distance between the city and the rural area was so long. So when Khalil eventually got to the city, he was so excited. He came out of his car and saw tall, big buildings called skyscrapers. And Khalil hasn't seen a skyscraper before, so he was so excited. And he also went into an elevator, and he was very, very excited because this was the first time Khalil is going on a ride on an elevator. Khalil eventually got to the apartment area of his friends and saw that there was so many doors in the apartment building. Khalil was so surprised, like, why do we have so many doors in the apartment building? So Khalil eventually got into his friend's apartment and went to the playroom with his friend. And Khalil went to the window to look to see what is the back of a house, and he saw a small playground where children usually go every day to play. So Khalil was very, very surprised. In his house in the rural area, he had a big backyard, and he can play with his family. And in the city, you don't have big backyard in the houses. You only have a little park where children go and play every day. Khalil looked through the window of his friend's apartment and saw a lot of people walking on the pavement, and they were so small like an ant. And Khalil compared the size of the people walking on the pavement to the size of the ant in his backyard. So now I'm going to talk about the different instructional strategies. Well, actually, we have one more video to watch.
But Tony stayed in the country. Tony loved the country, but Rick did not. I love the country. It's clean, it's quiet, and it's safe. One day, Tony got a letter from Rick. Rick is coming to visit me here in the country. This is so fantastic. I can't wait to see my cousin again.
Hello, Tony.
Hello, Rick. I missed you very much.
I have missed you too, cousin.
Now, Tony had a very humble house. He lived in the back of an old barn. He also had little to eat, just a few crumbs. But he had worked very...
Hi everyone. So basically the summary of this video is two mouse grew up together in the rural area community, and one of the mouse named Reed decided to go to the city to live in the city, and Tony decided to stay in the country. Rick was very happy in the city, and one day he wanted to pay his cousin a visit in the country. So he came to the country to pay his cousin a visit, and he was so surprised what he saw. He saw that his cousin's house was so poor, there was no light, and also it was so cold, and his cousin had little to eat. And Rick told his cousin Tony, in the city you have big warm houses and you have a lot of food, and he is so happy in the city. So Tony decided to come to the city with Rick. When Tony got to the city, he was so surprised. He felt so differently. He felt very, very different. There was no birds in the sky. There was no frogs. The sun was behind the tall buildings, and there was a lot of food. There were warm houses, but there was so many noises, and also some of the street in the city was very dirty. But he felt safer. Rick felt Tony felt safer in the country than in the city, so Tony went back to the country. And when he got to the country, he realized that he preferred to stay in the country than to live in the city. So now I'm going to measure the knowledge about the community that my student has acquired. I want to see how much knowledge about the community that they have. And one way that I can use to measure their knowledge and understanding about the community is the instructional activities. So I have two different instructional activities. I have the individual learning instructional activities, and I have the cooperative learning and instructional activities. So it's very important that we know that we balance individual and cooperative, because although we want to teach our children to be able to solve problems individually and address issues individually, we also want them to be able to collaborate and cooperate with their peers and with the people and learn how to work as part of a team. So here we have an individual activity, is a picture or sketch diagram of a barn. It could also be a church or a hospital, and the children will be told to color the sketch or the picture with any color of their choice. And this activity will help with their fine motor skills and coordination abilities. These are another individual activities. Basically, the students will be told to trace the word Auburn. So we have dotted line of Auburn, so they'll be told to use pencil to trace the word Auburn, and also they have to answer the true or false question. And also we have the cooperative learning activities, where I'm going to have students come together in a group of 5 or 4, and they'll cooperatively answer this question. So we have pictures, different type of pictures that represent laws in the community, and pictures that represent rules in the school. And the children will be told to put a check on the pictures that represent laws in the community, and put a circle in a picture that represent rules in the school. This is also a cooperative activity as well. This is a Venn diagram, and the children or the students will be told to work together to tell what the similarities of this city, the mouse in the city. How is it similar to the mouse in the country, and also what are the similarities will be in the middle. Thank you so much for watching.